Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stu's DIY. In today's video, it'll be part 2 of the yard roller build. I don't know how far I'm going to get on it, but in last video, if you check down in my videos previous, you'll see that I posted part 1, and that was building the stand. We built the stand basically in the cradle to hold this pipe. It's 5 foot long, 20 inches in diameter. I'm gonna make a yard roller out of it, obviously, so I had to make something to kind of support it, to be able to work with it. So in last video, go check it out, just to stay along with the series. So today's video, we're going to go ahead and prep this pipe and try to get the ends, try to get them, marked up and ground down. Maybe not flush cut today, but just go over the kind of the ends here and get some of the roughness knocked off, so that way then we can mark the ends. This end's a little worse from where I cut it off from the other side. You can see it's all, I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up here, but it's all burred up from where I cut it with a torch. Kind of aggressive, but had to do it outside a farmer's field. I actually got it from my neighbor right down the road here, so it was kind of nice. He was on a project and ended up getting about, I would say, 60 foot of this pipe. So there's definitely extra there in the future if I mess this one up. So, but anyways, in our last video, we created this stand here, and so that way I can manipulate the pipe. So please go down in my videos before and check that video out so you guys can stay along with the series. For the ends, I kind of mocked them up here. We've got two 19-inch diameter with a 2-inch bore for the shaft for each end. So it's 19 inches across, and obviously there's 2 of them for each end. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to inset these inside the pipe about 1 inch, or if I'm going to flush cut it and weld them on the outside yet. I'm thinking I want to weld them on the inside just so I can get so it looks a little better, and if the ends aren't completely true, the yard roller won't kind of wobble back and forth depending on how true my marks are. So it's kind of a first attempt here, but we'll make it work. It looks like I have room for one more circle if I mess it up. So anyways, 2 19-inch circles for the ends and a 2-inch outside diameter, 2-inch inside diameter shaft for the throughput there. I do kind of have a mocked up picture of kind of what we're looking at here. So I figured 5 feet for the tube length with about 6-inch offset for the side rollers and the bearings, and about 4 foot long tongue. That way, it's short enough you can still turn it around in the yard, but not too long where, it's a mile to turn this thing. So let's see what we get into here and follow along. So I forgot to show you in the previous clip here, but this was the shaft I was going to use, solid. I think it's 1 5/16". I got a roller bearing for it as well off the old Amazon, and in the ends I'm going to weld the pipe plug up in the end. That way I can at least fill a tube full of water and drain it if I have to, instead of actually adding weight to the top of the roller. So basically, if you see here, there's this little flange where they welded the shaft to this plate. So this flange measures 2 inches in diameter. So I figured if I cut this out to 2 inches in diameter, it would fit through there, and then also I could drill it and weld it from this side and then bolt through it, just for that added extra strength. There shouldn't be much, but if we're gonna do it, let's do it mostly right. And so that's kind of today's project, is kind of get these mocked up, see what they look like, work on the tube a little bit, but hopefully these bearings will hold it. And for the side rails and everything, I got some scrap 2-inch square tubing. I'd say about 8 or 10 feet long here. So I got 2 pieces to kind of make the frame, and I got, like I said, an extra little bit right there just in case I don't know, mess one of these circles up. So all right guys, let's get into it and hope you enjoy. All right, so the one thing I forgot to mention was the wraparound. So this is called a wraparound for big pipe like this. The pipe fitters at work ended up turning me on to this. That way you can get a true line all the way around this pipe, and it's symmetrical all the way around. That way it doesn't walk back and forth like if you were to tie like a string or something around it trying to get a true cut. So anyways, I got this wraparound. It's large size, asbestos free, that's always good. And it's 6-inch to 30-inch pipe, so 20-inch in diameter should work for us here. I'll show you how that goes on here in a little bit, but for now I just kind of want to clean up some of this rough stuff with a wire wheel, and then we'll lay that wraparound on there, try to get a good mark all the way around it, so that way we have consistency all the way around, and maybe attempt to cut one of these ends here. So all right, so basically how the pipe wrap works is it's about 6 inches across, 5 inches across, and it obviously has a measuring stick 0 to 36 inches, and it's got some angle finders and different measurements on the top, and actual pipe OD gives you some instructions, information, different aligners, different things like that. But the purpose is it's nice and wide, so it'll lay flat on the pipe, and I can get an even ring. So let's set that up now and show you how we mark it. So wrap it around, find your mark. And I'm probably doing this wrong, to be honest with you, because I'm not a pipe fitter. Oh boy, struggle is real. You know what? Let's cut this end off. Make it a little shorter, that way it makes sense. See how this lays in here. Oh boy, struggling. So now, in theory, since they're lined up real good, you should be able to get a true circle all the way around it. And it should be true all the way around. And it's obviously hard to tell because the pipe you know, is in and out, so makes your eyes look weird when you're rolling it, but it does look pretty true. So let's set up the other side. So it looks like both ends are done. Grab a tape measure here, and we'll see what it comes out to. So it should be 5 feet. It's real close. I might be about an 1/8 inch, 1/16 inch off, you know, depending, but I figure cut on inside the line, it'll be close enough to 5 feet for the ends. And then inside, I can recess back the plate, weld some stops in all the way around, and it'll be close enough. Welded in, it'll be good. Put a level on it, make sure it's level all the way, all 4 axes there. And here's a picture of kind of what I have so far. I got a 4-foot tongue, do some angle brackets here to support the carriage, and then the drum is right here through the middle. I did put some notes just for future thoughts, or if I ever wanted to redo it, at least I have some dimensions of what I kind of did here versus trying to think back a couple years or whatnot. I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint this unit, so it'll probably be our last step is you know, paint in this series. I figure I'll just paint it John Deere green, and then maybe on the top here or something, kind of put like Stu's DIY. I think that'd be cool, or kind of do something fun with it. Why not? I don't have much into this. So I was going to show you, I got a little Homebart 180 welder. So obviously a 1/2 inch is maybe pushing the limits of this little residential unit, but you know, we'll give it a shot, see what it'll do. Obviously got the torch set just in case all else fails. Cut a little meat off. I always can weld some stuff back on. But yeah, we'll try this little Hobart 180 out. My dad actually gave it to me. You know, he's getting to a point where he's not worried about welding anymore. He can take it somewhere and get it done or whatnot. But nice little unit here.